So I want to introduce Don from Walt Tools. He's one of the principals, and he's going to talk to us about the Reax stain. It's unique. There's a lot of stain systems out there, and he's going to give you a rundown of exactly what this stuff is. And as far as I know, Walt Tools is exclusive. It's a brand new product in the industry. Nobody has it. And Don, give us an overview of what this stuff is.
Okay. Who's used acid stain before? What are the big issues with acid stain? Any call-outs, any problems? What don't you like? Clean up? What else?
Time consuming, hard to give the customer an exact match of what the actual
Hard to give an exact match. Okay, acid stains are Mother Nature. It's all based on the chemistry of that concrete. And concrete can vary from pore to pore, you know, one day to the next. So you can get color differences from acid stain. Acid stain is very cool because it gives these neat artifacts and characteristics, and it really brings out a very natural look to it. But if a customer says, I want that color, and you go, okay, I'll give you that color. And then the next day you're like, it doesn't look like that color. Sorry, you don't get paid. Okay, that's a problem with it. And any sort of chemical stain is going to do that. Reax is no exception. Okay, it is very concrete dependent. So you need to test it on anything you use, that particular concrete in a conspicuous area. The cool thing about the Reax is you don't have that cleanup. Okay, it's pretty quick to see what you get. Okay, acid stain works, it's a salt system, it's metallic salts that alter the surface of that concrete. It's a permanent color change. As the concrete wears away, your color would wear away because it's the concrete itself that's colored. The nice thing about the Reax is there's no neutralizing, there's no acidity to it. It's an oxidation process. So it permanently gives you a color change, and it stays there, whichever it may be. It will give you actually more unique characteristics than acid stain because it has a lot, it'll pick up more minute differences than you get from acid stain. So you'll get a lot more variation from light to dark with this. But you put it down, you're going to let it do its color change, and of course anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, temperature, conditions present, and when it's done, it's done. It'll go from purple to whatever color it is, and it's finished. You can go over it again, where acid stains, because they kind of eat away at the surface, you'll use up that concrete resource on that top surface with acid stain after the second application. The second one's usually weaker. With Reax, it doesn't matter, it just builds. It just colors everything it touches, okay? Which is nice to know. So when you do have that customer, if you do an acid stain and it's a little too orange, you go over it again, a lot of times it just gets oranger. With Reax, if you're a little light, you do another application, it's going to intensify. So you can build upon that. So you have a much easier time with color correction with this material. Because there's no neutralizing, sealing is very simple. You don't have to worry about the pH differences which screw up a lot of sealers. This, once it's dry, it's done. If you've got a little residue, sometimes if you have a little residue, you can just mop it off, brush it off, but you don't have to worry about any chemical residues and seal it up. You're finished. Okay? Indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. The color spectrum, it's a lot of browns, but we do have some greens, like very similar to an acid stain. Dark walnut it can almost be black, so it's very dark. There is no black acid stain. Same with this, there's no black, it's just super dark brown. You're going to find this is just easier to work with, and it's very forgiving. You're going to see Nate's going to demonstrate doing a panel, and you kind of just blob it on, let it do its thing. You watch. If you actually had a little time-lapse thing, you can see the color change, especially in the summer when it's 70, 75 degrees. 15 minutes, it's just going to change colors. So don't be freaked out. Everything's purple. It's going to be that way. So if you give up after 5 minutes going it's purple, well, that's not good. You got to let it do its thing. That's really all I have on it. You're going to see it. It's pretty fun. Question?
If you use it outdoors, it's going to fade, or it's probably going to turn to black over time.
Doesn't turn black. It doesn't do it the same way as acid stains. It's still, your greens can alter over time, but it doesn't change the same way. Okay. I mean, it'll eventually patina out, but it won't go black. Okay. Your other colors stay the same. It's very permanent.
What about lighter colors, like white, gray, like lighter sand tones?
We have some really light ones. One of them we're going to call it cream. Cream is cream. It's very light. You can dilute them down just like you can, with acid stains. You add a little bit of water to it, it's going to take away the intensity.
Right.
But it's very light. But everything's an earth tone, means it's going to have a brown component to it. So you're not really going to get a gray. That's not there yet. Okay. So real light beige to dark brown and a couple different greens. And the greens sometimes can be blue. You just don't know.
Right.
Just like an acid stain.
So we don't have any blue, orange, or red?
What's that?
Blue, orange, or red?
No. I mean, or you can get orangey. A couple of you can get orangey, like acid stains, but there's less of an orange component. One of the biggest complaints I hear from acid stains is almost all the browns are they're very orange. This doesn't have that. You get more brown to it. That's more natural brown. It's not quite as that coppery look, which is a nice change. And you can layer these. You can mix and match. You see, that's very easy. You throw it on a base color, then you blot some of the other ones on top. They run together. You don't get any harsh lines. You're just going to get variation in color. And you can do it wet on wet, or you can wait until it dries and then throw some more on top. You can alter your colors. Again, when acid stains, you start to etch your surface too much. This does not affect your surface at all. It doesn't hurt it. Okay? Anything else?
So that you dump the bottle into the sprayer, you're good to go. You don't have to dilute it out or
Yeah.
anything. But you can dilute it up to 1:1, 2:1.
You can do 5:1 if you really want it.
Okay, sure.
Like dark walnut, you see, full strength is dark, really, really dark, which is great. A lot of times we're gonna cut that at least 2:1 because we just want a real light chocolate brown instead. Otherwise, it's too dark. And any of them will do that. The olive can be a pretty intense green. If you get a really, really pale sage, you can just add a little bit of water. And a lot of the easy ways to do it on the surface is, especially in summer, surfaces are hot, so you water them down first. You pre-wet your surface, it helps the material wick into that surface better because the surface tension is broke, and it gives a little dilution to start with so it's not as intense. Otherwise, any hot concrete you put liquid down, it wicks right in and you can get harsher lines. And so avoid that, like any stain.
What happens if it freezes during shipping?
If it freezes during shipping, we have had it frozen, and when it came out of it, it was fully usable. We don't know if that will be every time, but we have had frozen material thaw, and it's been fully functional. Okay. Any resin-based, like water-based stains, usually once they freeze, they're no good. Exactly. This works a little bit different.
We build a lot of water and fire features, basically adding to a pre-existing pool. So a lot of cases we get the wind will overspray into the pool or whatever. Like, how is this going to react in that situation? Will it dilute into the water, or will it actually create a film and now have a serious film in it?
You would not have a film. It would just disappear into the water.
Great.
And such a minor concentration that it would not hurt anything.
Right.
Actually, it would help eliminate stuff in the pool because it's a little bit of a biocide.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, like roughly how deep does it penetrate into the
Depends on how much you get on there. Whatever that amount is there, whatever liquid will soak in is how far it will penetrate and affect that surface.
Right.
So if you really soaked it and really soaked and got an intense color,
Right.
and you cut that concrete, if it absorbed 1/8 of an inch of that water, you're going to get 1/8 of an inch of color.
Gotcha.
Okay? But it doesn't etch, it migrates. Where an acid stain kind of has to etch its way into there.
Right.
An acid stain can start to damage your surface. This will have no effect.
Okay.